Well, first, I just want to thank everybody for coming this afternoon. Obviously, it's an exciting time for us as an organization. We have I think, a group of people that are excited and motivated to get started. I've worked hard this summer to try to take another step in the program here in Oklahoma City. The focus for the organization, remains the same for us. We're focused on trying to continue to move the needle forward for the Thunder, continuing to work our way to a point of sustained success and to be an elite franchise in the NBA, in the Western Conference. In terms of our goals and things of that nature coming into the season, as I said earlier, they're the same as the goals we've had the last few years in Oklahoma City. We want to continue to build ourselves as a defensive team and continue to build our defensive identity. We want to continue to be a team that competes night in and night out, and plays hard and plays for each other. We want to continue to be a team and focus on being a team that has an attention to detail on both ends of the floor at a high level. And as always, we want to continue to give back to the community and all the people that have supported us since our time here by way of our endeavors in the community and work with our corporate partners and season ticket holders. Each year obviously has a different dynamic in the NBA. Each year is different. No years are the same. In our case, we're very fortunate to be coming into this season having taken what we feel like was a positive step last year. In looking at it, we had a lot of things go our way last year. I think everyone could see that. We also enjoyed some real big strides developmentally with some of our guys. And with all that being said, we still the 8th seed in the Western Conference. So I think that lends itself to the overall understanding and humility of the group that we still have a long way to go, given a lot of the things that fell in line for us last year. We've said before that we're still a team that has a lot of growth. We have a lot of room to grow, and we're certainly not a finished product by any means. But we feel good about where we are right now in the process and what we're trying to accomplish. But we're going to really have to stay focused as we keep working on the things that we can control and the things that are important for us as a basketball team that we've identified as being important to winning basketball games at a high level. In terms of the summer, I think we've had a positive summer. Naynard, Kevin, Russell have had experiences with the national teams they played for. Hopefully we'll gain some benefit from their individual experiences and turn those into collective improvement for the team and the organization. Our coaches, again, have, I think, done a fine job with our summer development program, and we've seen some strides from some of our players, and we're excited about that. And I want to emphasize our coaching staff really does an excellent job with our guys, and they really are committed and understand how important the development of our entire roster is for what it is we're trying to do, which is obviously build a team that can have lasting success. And I feel very fortunate to work with a coaching staff like the one we have that is truly committed to the organizational vision and understand that. So I think, really have to credit our coaches and our players with some of the positive steps that have been taken within the organization's development. I guess, before I take questions, just in sum, I think our identity and our approach for us, that's going to be consistent. That's just kind of how we feel is best for us to continue to grow as an organization and get where we want to go. but we're really excited about starting, really excited about what the season holds. We know that there's going to be plenty of ups and downs. That's part of an 82-game season. And I think we'll continually learn and grow from how we manage both the adversities that we face and also the successes that we're fortunate enough to earn along the way. Any questions?
So everybody's expectations for this team was sort of skyrocketing now. How have your expectations changed from maybe 20 years ago?
Really haven't changed at all. As I said earlier, expectations for us are controlling the things we can control, coming in each day with a focus and a work ethic that's going to help us continue to grow. For us, we understand and respect. There's no shortcut and there's no silver bullet. It's just going to be our ability to continue to push forward, stick together, and understand that part of our growth as a team and as an organization is not always going to be just a smooth ride. So when we hit those struggles or patches, it's not just getting through the patches, but it's also, getting better from going through that. And I think, having won 23 games the season before last and having a lot of those guys that went through that season on our roster, I think they have a great respect for how difficult it is to win in this league, and a great respect for, the fact that you got to just come in every day and focus on us, let alone, anything outside of this building.
Sam, you talked just kind of briefly about what the guys accomplished in the Worlds, Kevin and Russ and Maynard, but could you talk a little more specifically about what you saw in the improvement of their games when you watched how they played?
Well, I think, there's certainly benefit for those guys to play in different circumstances, but at the core of all those national teams, the commitment is still the same. It's a total team commitment. So although there's a difference in some of the rules and a difference in the environments, I think just the opportunity to continue to grow and play in those different environments, but still have the sole focus being on, the collective output of the unit, I think is a great experience for the summer. And the other thing with those guys is anytime you play in an event like the World Championships, just the amount of endurance mentally that it takes to go through that process is, it's a challenge. And I think that'll be hopefully something we benefit from as well. I really think Kevin and Russell and Nenad, had to make significant commitments and really see that through to the point for where those teams had played, deep into the tournament.
How narrow is your focus? Obviously you're worried about yourself, but do you focus in on the Northwest, Sam? Do you realize that Boozer's gone from Utah, Culver's gone from Utah, Carmelo's probably gone from Denver? Bowden's uncertainty would help. Do you look that specifically, or where exactly do you focus? Really,
honestly, John, we really can't control what's going on with the other teams in the Northwest. For us, it's always been about, preparing and playing as a team and focusing on the things that we feel are important. Everyone's got to play the same 82 games, got to play the same schedule, same home, same away. And then at the end of the year, you try to, I think for us, we've always tried to look back and see, what the work has resulted in, as opposed to starting out focusing on the results themselves.
Are you surprised, maybe surprised not the right word, just how flattering people have been toward your team since the Lakers series?
Well, I think for sure it's always nice to have people say positive things about your team, and it's humbling. By the same token, I don't think any of our guys or anyone in our building expects that any of those things are going to translate into production on the court. It's really up to us to stay focused and disciplined to our core principles and roll our sleeves up every day and go to work. It's not going to happen. We're not going to make progress because we talk about it, and we're not going to make progress because we look externally. It's going to have to happen internally, and it's not going to be, a smooth road all the time. But that's part of the process that we're in.
As you look around the league, do you consider this team a top 5 team?
I don't really look at it like who's a top 2 or 3 team or top 5 team. I like where we are. I like the fact that we've got a group of guys that have put in more time over the summer. I like the fact that, we are bringing back a group of guys that have some more experience and some more continuity. But we're going to have to do the work on the floor. And I think we're going to continue to learn about what kind of team we have through, how we manage adversities and how we also manage some success that we were lucky to have. So at the end of the year, I think we'll have the answers to those types of questions.
Sam, you were with Scott really pretty rock solid in the 9-man rotation last season, and all those guys are back, and you've added pretty substantial depth that's available to Scott now. Does that make his job tougher or easier in your mind?
Well, I think for him, obviously, he's always going to want to have as many options as he can. I think that, again, we certainly like the group that we have, but he's going to have to make the decisions as to who he feels can help him win on a nightly basis, how he wants to continue to develop the roster so that we're playing our best basketball, as the season progresses. But I've got a tremendous amount of confidence in him, in what it is that, how he approaches his job, and also how he feels about the organization and what we're trying to accomplish. So I think he'd like to have as many options as possible, but as we know, you can't play everybody, and we're going to have people understand and accept roles, and that's another part of developing an elite franchise, an elite team. But I'm confident that we'll be able to do that.
You feel like you're on the right track when you hear people like David Kahn talking about the Presti rebuilding approach?
Again, it's certainly not my approach. I think it's the organization, and we've had a tremendous amount of support from our ownership group, and certainly our players and our coaches are the ones that deserve the credit. They have continually stayed disciplined to the things that we've laid out as important to growing, we certainly haven't. We certainly had some, we've had some rough patches also, but I think that's also a big part of us staying the course. And when we have had some success, it hasn't been just because we rolled the balls out one day and it happened. Scott and the players have really came in each day to try to focus on getting better, and we're going to have to continue to have that focus. That's going to be really important for us if we expect to improve.
The answers you're giving us now, is that something you have to pound into your guys' heads every once in a while, or do you meet with them Sunday, tell them, and then Scott reminds them all year long? Is it necessary?
Well, I think if anything, what we've tried to establish is just the fact that we're going to try to do our work on the floor. And I think one of the huge benefits for us is we have some guys that really embody that. I think Kevin Durant is someone that understands that, results don't come overnight. They come from putting in time, and they may not come back to you that particular day. I like that song. You can let that go for a little bit if you want. So Kevin understands that, he doesn't work hard and shoot around in the morning because he thinks it's going to help him that night. I think it may come back to him later on in the season or perhaps the following season. But, all those little things stack up. I think Russell is similar in that approach. So it's not as much a messaging thing that we try to talk to the guys about as much as it is try to find the guys that embody that. And then I think Scotty does a tremendous job because that's who he is as a person. He's a consistent person. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, and he's a worker. And that's the reason why I feel like he's the coach for this team.
Sam, there's obviously a lot of ways to develop over the summer. You got physical development, out standpoint. But I'm curious from what you've learned about talking to the players, what have you gotten from them in terms of their mental development and how they're approaching this season with sort of a target now?
Well, again, I think the fact that there's been some struggle, over the last few years. I think there's a genuine humility as how fragile this is. You can't take anything for granted in the NBA. You have to respect how difficult it is to win, and you have to continue to stay focused on the things you can control because so many of the things are out of your control at the end of the day. So I think our guys, will benefit from their experiences. Some of them have been positive and some of them haven't been. But like I said before, the point of the struggle is not necessarily to survive, but it's to improve and get better so that you can succeed the next time that challenge comes along.
Do you feel at all like you'll need to make a concerted effort to insulate them from external expectations and whatever might be said as the season unfolds? Is that at all a concern to you?
I think once the season starts, I think it's about basketball. It's about the Thunder. It's about, as I said before, our approach is the same. Nothing really changes for us. We've approached this summer as we've approached the last few. We'll approach this training camp as we've approached the last few, and that's to focus on moving forward, getting better, continuing to grow, and obviously having an eye on building a team that we think is capable of sustaining success.
Sam, because of how you know how hard Kevin works, the fact that Darnell asked about the skyrocketing expectations of the team, but his stardom and really championships and obviously the playoffs, to see him getting the attention and some of the things that he's getting, is that somewhat gratifying to you because of what you know about how he's worked at all this?
Well, I think we're certainly proud of him because we've seen his development. But we also understand he's still, as of today, 21 years old. And he has a long way to go and a lot of ways that he has to improve and get better. But one of the things that I think has made him who he is and will continue to do so is that he hasn't focused on the results. He's focused on doing the work, understanding that part of his development is also embracing the challenges and sometimes the tough times. And he's had some of those. But as I said before, one of the things that's more consistent than any part of his game is his approach to his work. And I think it's a huge benefit for him and also a huge benefit for our organization.
Sam, there's a lot of talk around the league, and not really talk. There's a lot of teams that have changed uniforms, and I know there's all teams will have different sort of material. But do you guys have any more talks or discussions about plans on having alternative uniforms?
I think that'll happen in the future. There's a period of time that you have to wait, and I'm not clear 100% on the rules, or the guidelines. So I don't want to give you the impression that I have them totally figured out. But it's something that the organization will certainly look at, as that opportunity becomes available to us.
Sam, you spoke a little bit about the coaches this summer and all the work that they put in. I've heard a couple of the players now mention coaches coming out to wherever they have gone home to or traveling to. Can you talk a little bit about the thought process behind that and why that's been so important?
Well, again, as you said before, we're not a finished product, and we have a long way to go. So part of building and growing a sustainable franchise and roster is focusing on those opportunities to improve, and the summer times are great opportunities to do that. As I said, we're really fortunate. We've got a coaching staff that understands that, we're going to need the entire roster to continue to grow and continue to develop and build organizational depth. That takes not just time during the season, but also opportunities in the off season as well. And those guys are passionate about this organization, and our thought process is just to try to use every opportunity to improve, but to work smart also, not just to work a lot, but to work smart. And I think those guys do a good job of that.